All right, y'all. Tory Lanez did all that appealing, just to be told by the courts to sit himself down and that he'd have to serve that sentence. Let's talk about it.
Y'all know who I am, Adrian. I be in the cut, I sizzle with your man. Don't be mad at me because he recognized the brand.
Underneath me, what felt like the strength of 100,000 racehorses trampled the ground like an avalanche. I lurched violently when Javelin accelerated, keeping my grasp firmly on his spikes. Another roar shook the trees around us, and I felt Midnight's footsteps push away the ground beneath. Miraculously, the living forest shrunk small below us, a breathtaking sight in the early morning light.
Y'all already know the drill over here. We like articles, okay? We like news articles over here. I just think it's so funny because, like, these girls be suing people. I promise you, girl, you're going to have to sue the media platform I got this from before you sue me. Billboard says an appeals court has upheld Tory Lanez's convictions for shooting Megan Thee Stallion, rejecting his arguments aimed at overturning his 10-year prison sentence. Now, nearly 3 years after the singer was found okay, girl, I was like, should we use the word singer here? Is that what he does? Anyway, was found guilty in 2022 of shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot during it. We already know that. So a California appeal court basically confirmed or affirmed the verdict in a ruling issued on Wednesday, November 12th. Now, Tory Lanez and his supporters, we already know, they have long maintained his innocence, claiming that there was insufficient proof that he was the shooter and that he received an unfair trial. But in the ruling, the appeals court said that there was no reason to undo the verdict. Peterson contends the trial court committed a number of errors, the appeals court wrote. We find no prejudicial error and accordingly affirm Peterson's conviction. Now, a spokeswoman for Lanez did not immediately return a request for comment on the ruling. I love that because, like, girl, what are you going to say besides, girl, I'm going to prison? I'm staying in prison. Like, any comment? Tory Lanez, do you have any comment? I mean, girl, know what he gonna say? I'm staying behind bars. Like, I don't. Like, what's he gonna say? The ruling came more than 5 years after the July 2020 shooting, which happened as a driver was shuttling lanes, Megan and her snake, because that ain't no best friend, that ain't no friend, hun. That gives reptile, okay? Kelsey Harris from a party at Kylie Jenner's house. And I was just like, the first time I saw this come out, I felt so bad for Megan. I was like, oh my gosh. And then Kylie Jenner name here. I was like, see, see, just stay away from them folks. Goodness, according to prosecutors, when Megan got out of the car, we already know that he allegedly said, dance, B-word, and fired a gun at her feet. And I'm just like, somebody saying that to me, and then like me literally getting shrapnel bullets, like you would have, oh my gosh. Like, it would take everything in me to go through the official channels, like the official legal channels. And I know that Megan obviously didn't have a choice because, like, the state brought those charges because the gun was going off in the middle of the street. Like, so the state brought it. I know that Megan didn't bring it, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, to go through the legal channels in any capacity with this is very commendable because, girl, it really would have given constructive alibi for myself and sent some folks for you, bro. Like, ski masks in the middle of the night, honey. In the middle of the night. Make sure you can't tie that back to me because I promise you, I'm not playing these games with you, and apparently neither is or did that appeal court. Now, during a blockbuster trial in LA court, Lanez's lawyers tried to sow doubt over who had really pulled the trigger. I thought that was so, I was like, okay, painting a scenario in which Harris could have been the shooter, but a key defense witness offered confusing eyewitness testimony, and prosecutors pointed to an earlier interview in which Kelsey Harris pinned the blame squarely on Tory Lanez. I remember when all this was going on and Kelsey came out and everybody, the Megan haters were acting like, oh my gosh. I'm like, she say that Tory Lanez? I was like, are we gonna really act like, okay. Megan herself offered powerful testimony that Lanez had been the one to shoot her, and neither Lanez nor the driver took the witness stand. It was just so going through that entire sequence of events made me think I was like in the Twilight Zone. I'm just like, what you mean? He not taking a stand and y'all, he not gonna get up there and defend himself, and y'all over here, y'all defending him more than he defended himself. Ridiculous. Lanez and his supporters have refused to accept his verdict, calling it a miscarriage of justice. His legal team has filed multiple forms of appeal. I'm talking about, I felt like every month, every business month, they were filing another appeal to challenge the verdict, each of which has now been rejected. They have also claimed publicly that new evidence exonerates him. Megan's reps and prosecutors strongly deny that. On appeal, Lanez raised a slew of arguments. He argued it had been unfair for jurors to hear the earlier interview with Harris in which she placed the blame for the shooting on Lanez. It's unfair that the trial happened. Okay. He also argued prosecutors had improperly cited an Instagram post in which he appeared to say that Harris had not shot Megan. In Wednesday's decision, the appeals court rejected each of those arguments, including Lanez's claim. This one was rich, including Lanez's claim that prosecutors had introduced racial bias into the proceedings by referencing a tattoo of a gun on his chest. He said racial bias. And it's so interesting because, like, obviously this entire justice system is full of racial bias, but to sit here and say, oh my God, they looked at a tattoo on my chest and they said, and the kicker, let me tell you the kicker, because the court says it was defense counsel who asked both on direct and redirect if a witness had ever seen Peterson with a gun. Neither of the prosecutors even mentioned Tory's tattoos, much less the tattoo of a firearm, in their closing arguments. And so it's just, as you can see, every single appeal that Tory Lanez tried to put forth, the court was just like, okay, you saying there are errors, you saying, and we don't see any. You're saying that there's some bias, there's this, there's that. We're not seeing anything. This is how we conducted. This is how it went, and you keep appealing it, and we're not seeing any additional information that's making us lift the sentence, remove the sentence, redo a trial. And he kept going. And to me, it's just like, if you were going to be this dissatisfied with the result of this, why don't you try to take the stand? Because now that the verdict is done, you're trying to do all this work and digging and, uprooting, and they looking at you like, bro, like, you should take a stand. But I guess the lawyers knew that you would have just completely incriminated yourself. Like, I feel like you can't even help there's certain personalities that I feel like they can't even help themselves when it comes to just popping off on the mouth or hauling off. You see what I'm saying? And so maybe the lawyers were like, girl, if you go up there for even 1 second, it's like dealing with Trump. If you go up there for even 1 second, you about to tell all your own business. Please sit down. But like the fact that a lot of people looked at this situation and didn't see Tory Lanez not going up there to literally defend his own self on the stand. Didn't see Kelsey Harris first saying that Tory Lanez, did it and then going around change her story. Like, didn't see all that as like very obvious signals that something was crazy was going on. It's just like a lot of people were being very willfully obtuse and ignorant. I don't know what to tell y'all. But it's ugly. But yeah, that's it. The courts told him that he gonna stay behind bars, and that's just that. Like, that's just that. Just like Megan has to deal with the trauma of this and reliving this, I'm sure, at this moment, over and over, and everybody dealing with everybody's opinions about it online, just like she gonna have to do that forever. Girl, you're gonna have to live with the disgusting decision that you made. So I don't know what to tell you. On that note, thank y'all so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and make sure you have a good evening.
Y'all know who I am, Adrian. I be in the cut, I sizzle with your man. Don't be mad at me because he recognized the brand. Don't be mad at me, that nigga acting